There it is. I think we're actually working. Do you want to? Okay. I'm looking.
Is it up?
I see the audio heartbeat thing. You want to do a show?
Let's do a show. You got your hard drive plugged in.
Yeah, I do. I'm out of space. I don't know. Here's the thing. Between my phone and my computer, I literally will get it brand new. 3 days later, I'm out of space.
Well, because they all sync up and all the other... It just makes copies of everything.
But what do I have? I don't even know what I have inside this thing that I'm storing. I've tried, and it's always other. It's nothing more than like you have 475 gigabytes of other. That's what it says when you run diagnostics.
Yeah, there's like you have nothing, and then the rest of it is other, and you're like, what's other?
I have 15 photos.
But like... Yeah, because I've taken out a lot of photos. I'm actually doing okay on storage. I'm not trying to brag.
Oh, that's a hot brag. That's better than usually your Tumblr brag.
My Tumblr brag.
What is that thing called?
It's not I'm not making cocktails, dude. It's my travel mug.
Travel mug. Sorry. Welcome to Hollywood Anonymous. I am Bryan Erwin.
I'm John Travel Mug Huck.
Oh, please don't.
I want to give myself a nickname. I knew people in college that gave themselves nicknames. I'm going to give myself a nickname.
First rule number one, never self-nickname. You cannot give yourself... You can't walk in a room...
should be an actual law that you cannot do.
We all know the person that did, but you got to be real careful with that, because with the beard, you could actually have a success called Travel Mug Huck. You'd be selling travel mugs.
See that guy with the travel mug cart? And then he tells jokes on the side?
People have it. People use the hook as part of their name, and that creates success for them. So I've
never done that. I've never done like a Huck You T-shirt or
no. It's Travel Mug Huck.
Oh, that's where I would start.
It'll be a cartoon picture of you on a T-shirt holding a mug, which is like
the travel mug's a little bit bigger than like regular size, right? Like it's a little bit
7-Eleven size,
like big gulp travel mug.
Oh yeah, big gulp, because that's hilarious, right?
Guys, if you want to invest in this project, send check or money order to P.O. Box.
Do they still do those commercials?
I don't know, but we should start doing it and see if anyone sends us anything.
Probably not. That's why they stopped doing those commercials. So,
do you think that would you guys send us stuff if we?
Who are you talking to right now?
I'm talking to the people listening.
You know they're not going to answer right now. Right?
I'm not expecting an answer.
Well, no, it's the first time we've ever done that. I just want to make sure that I want to make sure you understand.
I directly addressed our listenership.
Okay. That's okay. Back to asking the question.
That's the thing. Yeah. Well, would you guys, if we had a P.O. box, would you mail us like artwork that you drew of us from pictures you found online?
I don't know. We'll find out. Wait, what?
If we had a P.O. box...
Just tell them exactly what you want. Don't ask. Just say, this is what you would like, and see if anybody responds to you.
Draw pictures of me and Bryan.
Start again, but be more like kind, like up front, because you can't...
Hey, I'm talking to you. Get up.
Right now, you're kind of yelling at people and demanding...
Put that bong down. I'm talking to you. Draw pictures of me and Bryan. We want artwork for the show. But we need to know that you'll do that. So respond to us in the email, and then if you like it, we'll set up a P.O. box.
Hollywood Anonymous guys.
I bet nobody responds.
Or contact either one of us on Facebook.
Yeah. I talk to my people.
Oh.
I'm gonna get people.
Okay.
I'm gonna get people. Yeah. Too much interaction with the public now.
I'm gonna get some people.
Yeah, to stand around me so that other people can't see me.
What do you think of my fake vomit and poop? It's pretty sweet, huh?
This looks like salsa, by the way. This looks. I was like, did you spill salsa all over the table? And then I was like, oh, I bet that's supposed to be. And then at first I was like, did the cat just throw up? For like that was a split second. And I was like, it's too shiny.
Yeah, with the young kids have definitely. We're in the midst of comedy hijinks in the house.
So they place this around, and then
and it's always the same. It's like, Dad, the dog pooped on the floor.
Oh, they call you over.
Okay, because we've done this for 4 days straight. So. And then I'm like, okay, I'm kind of being a douche, like an adult douche. Like, this is what they want to do. This is simple joys and humor for them.
Exactly. You got to repeat. So, oh, my God, the poop. Oh, my God, the poop. Oh, my God, the poop. Over and over. And they're just going to be like, oh, my God, Dad said poop.
Yeah.
Holy shit, this is the best.
Actually, shit's what they hear more than poop here. But no need to talk about this stuff. This is a treat we'll share with our guest, because I gave him a special poop, too. But you said there was something that you wanted to tell me.
You're handsome, dude. 2 pieces of big news.
Big news.
Let's bring the guests in.
Do I have big news stuff? No, I don't have big news.
Let's bring in our guests, and then we can talk about the news so that he can share in the glorious news. Our guest, don't talk. You're not introduced yet.
You are so close, dude. So close.
So good.
Our guest today ranked in the 800s in the world of
comedy?
of tennis.
Oh, okay.
hilarious stand-up comic, television host, comment section. My pick to win this entire hosting game. Michael Kosta, everybody.
Thank you.
Which part of that introduction are you most proud of?
Well, I think that introduction, you stated my ranking in the world in tennis. I mean, that was 11 years ago, but it would be awesome if I was still ranked that. Because I'm off the computer now.
How do you
it's not easy to be ranked, just so we're clear. It doesn't matter whether it's 800 or 18.
I mean, it's by far like the most difficult thing I've done. But what also is funny about it is when I tell people and that was the highest I was ever ranked. That's my career high.
Oh, what was the exact number?
864.
Okay.
When I tell people my greatest, in my opinion, life achievement, they always just laugh and they go like, I didn't even know they ranked that many. It's like, hey, I was kind of proud of that for a second.
Yeah,
so that's
because it's a worldwide ranking. This isn't like 800 in Detroit.
Right. No. You weren't insulted to me at all. No. What I also remind people is like, I was ranked that number for like 5 days, and then I went back down to like the 2000s.
What caused the ranking? What
there's
was
a lot of questions happening at once. I mean,
which caused the ranking?
Say it again.
Was there a specific event that you won that put you in and then you lost the next event?
So in tennis, you accumulate points. Every time you win a match, you accumulate points. And at that
point, your career?
For one calendar year, you accumulate as many points. So if you win the U.S. Open, you get 1,000 points, okay? I was winning one round at a synonymous to a double-A, single-A baseball level tournament. If I would beat John Huck in that tournament, I would get 1 point. I had my total amount of points was like 17 ATP points. And again, if you win one round at a Grand Slam, you get like 300 points. So, I mean, it's just like, minor league baseball players, what do they make a week? Like $119?
Yeah, man, it's not good.
It's not good. I mean, I remember one time I lost in the second round in a tournament in Zihuatanejo, Mexico, which is the city where Andy Dufresne escapes prison to in the Shawshank.
Yeah.
Those were the kind of cities I was playing in. I made $119, and my hotel bill was like $1,200. You know what I mean?
Like, you don't get compensated.
No, you all of your travel is on you. You get like equipment and stuff, but
that's the sponsor thing. So depending on your level of sponsorship, some of that stuff will be taken care of. But at the level you were at, it was on you.
Some. I always. It kind of sucks being from the United States sometimes because we're so dense in population that if I was from like if I was from Ecuador, I would get like Ecuadorian Tennis Federation money, right? You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be a lot of money, but it would still be. They have a federation,
yeah.
And
there'd be a stipend for you to travel, for you to get hotels,
and you would sleep with like the hottest Ecuadorian girl, which is still better than
super hot,
yeah. And so, like in the States, I was 900 in the world in tennis, and I was still like 100 in the United States. Was that my throat, or was that was?
I don't know what that was. It's amazing though. If that was your throat, add that to special skills.
It's the first time our guest has died during a performance.
All right, P. Michael Kosta, everybody.
Oh man.
Well, so we'll get back to tennis.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
We'll get back to tennis in a second because I'm intrigued of the struggle of wanting to do that based on what you just said. Why anyone would want to do it, but
and we've talked to athletes. We've had some show athletes. Anthony Alabi was in the NFL for 5 seasons.
We did.
Wow, that's tough.
Yeah. Now he's in every other commercial you see and in every other TV
Now
show.
he's diabetic with 2 hip replacements.
Actually, he went. That's why he got out after 5
smart.
years.
He was like
he saw his relatives who played 12 seasons and couldn't get off couches and their knees were blown out. And
I just saw this Bears 30 for 30, and Jim McMahon starts each day doing puzzles. So
to save his brain.
To save his brain. And I'm like, he's either a genius or it's already happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's either
and the fridge. You see the fridge in that? He sits in a vacant house on a chair and drinks 18 packs of beer.
Oh, wow.
Because he with a cane. That's what he does.
The fridge is a really sad story. I'm not laughing at Jim McMahon. It's just.
Well, no, I think he actually impressed me that he was fighting, quote unquote, fighting potential brain loss.
Yeah.
I mean, people that do word puzzles and like crossword puzzles do have sharper brains.
But have you seen the clip of him online? Like, he's got the light sensitivity, so he's not a dickhead. He has to wear sunglasses because he's going to get huge headaches.
Yeah.
But online, he actually talked about specifically how the NFL, why is marijuana on the banned substance list?
Correct.
It's on the banned substance list because they don't want you to medicate with marijuana, because marijuana is a pain reliever, and it's a natural pain reliever. Whereas what the NFL does is get in cahoots with the drug companies and just push pills down everybody's
all
throat.
day long.
So it's just like, if whatever ails you, they got a pill for it. You know what I mean?
I love that he just took that on.
I agree. And what does he have to lose? Like, the NFL he's not going to get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I love that he was like, he goes, if I had a gun, I would have killed myself. And it's like, that's our sports hero saying that. But it's
as
valuable.
Brutal as that sounds, that is very valuable information. And that says a lot about why maybe people who play in the NFL shouldn't have guns. Why, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's
also that interview. I just applaud Sports Illustrated for actually airing. ESPN would never show that.
Ever. You cannot go against the NFL on ESPN. That's ESPN. All they do is beat off nonstop to the NFL and the NBA. Yes. That's all they care about. They will shove it up your buttholes. They don't care. They're the worst. They are a terrible sports network.
As a tennis fan, I'll watch, I remember Federer and Nadal had that epic 5-set Wimbledon final. It was 7 hours. Okay, It was the greatest match of all time. And SportsCenter's greatest tennis match of all time. Here's match point. Okay, LeBron getting off an airplane, and I'm like, you're going to show 1 point of that, but they don't. It doesn't.
But that's why now you have the tennis network, so you watch that, and I watch MLB Network and the NHL Network.
There's plenty of options.
Yeah, but that's what's funny is that I used to put ESPN on in the morning. It would stay on all day.
Yeah,
that's where I got all my information.
Yeah, I know. It's like your news.
Yeah. All right, sorry. So we talked about sports a little bit there, but two pieces of great news.
Yes, your great news.
Yes, first piece of great news. A friend of mine who went to prison for 14 years a while ago was
didn't see this one coming.
Ended up on the deferment on the commuted sentence list that Obama just put out.
Oh, okay. All right, I see where you're going with this.
He gets out next Wednesday. He was supposed to get out in November of 2017.
Okay.
Wow, because Obama. Are these official pardons?
No, these are not pardons.
These aren't pardons. These are commuted sentences. So he still has to come out and go to a halfway house. But he got 14 years for selling drugs to an undercover cop.
Oh, wow.
But he was completely set up by the system, if that makes sense. A guy came to him and was like, hey, man. And my friend was like, it was like Carlito's Way.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, my buddy was like, I thought you were in jail. He's like, no, man, I got out. I fought that case. I got out. And he was like, oh. So they hung out for a little while. And then within a week, this guy was like, hey, man, I need 5 pounds of meth.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, dude, I am not a meth dealer. He dabbled in some weed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was and he's just a genuinely nice guy. He's one of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet. So this guy just kept flashing cash. The same thing happened to my brother with the car parts thing a long time ago. But this guy just kept flashing money. And finally, my friend was like, okay, I'll make a couple phone calls. Yeah. And, of course, he found it right away. And this guy had said he could pinpoint, he could get the LAPD, the meth kingpin of Los Angeles. And he set my friend up to be that guy. So then my friend had to go, and it was a first-time offense. It was a non-violent offense. And for some reason, the judge was like, you get 14 years.
Well, that's the problem with all of these is that they're non-violent. I mean, I do understand if you're standing in front of a middle school, making kids try drugs, it's like,
that's a different thing.
That's a different deal. But this is so he's going to be out.
Yeah, so he gets out next Wednesday.
How long was he in?
He did about 10.
Wow.
How do you not just fill with bitterness and hatred and come out and just start murdering?
That's part of the concern is to all this incarceration in the first place.
For a nonviolent
what ends up happening to these people is you go in nonviolent, you come out, no one wants to hire you, you get angrier and angrier,
and you were screwed in the first place. Yeah.
Or even if you weren't screwed, fine, you make a mistake, but you sit for so long. And you're seen the society treats you a certain way. You're kind of screwed for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And so the leg up thing is just gone.
The
By the way, everyone hates the fact that Obama's doing this, but when I say everyone, certain types of people have already said, great, yeah, thanks, Obama. Thanks for bringing out all the bad guys, as if no other president's ever done this before.
My friend's
didn't Clinton like triple the amount of pardons like of any other president ever?
Yeah.
Like,
So, again, but this is, so, I mean, listen.
This is good news because if people that are getting out are anything like my friend, if they're even like half the human being this guy is, then they don't deserve to be in there for that long.
Yeah. And also, to be clear, they didn't just blindly start releasing people. They looked into it and know who they're releasing.
This guy did 10, 15 years for. Come on, dude. Like that's everyone involved in his case that went to prison is either out or dead at this point.
Wow.
Like he deserves to be out.
So anyway,
we're
that's
super
good.
happy. Yeah, he gets out next Wednesday.
And he'll be on the show next Thursday.
We will definitely have him. I've visited him a bunch of times.
About podcasting?
Yeah.
That's all you talked about the whole time you were there?
Yeah,
you visited him. Was he in Illinois incarceration?
No, Terminal Island. He's down by Long Beach.
It's always an island, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's not really. It's more like Terminal Isthmus. It's like a connected piece of land.
That's scary.
But yeah, I went and visited, and it's not the orange jumpsuit, I'm going to shank you prison. It's the beige Dickies work boots. We play on a softball team prison.
Okay.
If that makes any sense, like federal.
No, because I'm not very that familiar with prison.
I don't have too many points of reference.
Well, I'll tell you this. There's a lot of razor wire. There's a lot of razor wire everywhere.
Oh, man.
It was uncomfortable, and I always had to bring fucking quarters because that's all the vending machines took, and you can't bring paper money in.
Oh, I thought you meant to just throw them on the ground and watch people chase after them.
Right.
No, because it was like you got to buy them food when you get there. It's like, you want a honey bun? Do you want a
honey buns?
Mountain Dew Code Red? Like always this garbage. He was like, when I get out of here, I'm never using a microwave again. And I'm never eating out of a vending machine again. And I go, well, those are good things. And then I was like, do some push-ups.
They get their own food. Those are their treats, if you will. If you have cash, you can get these other things. Is that it?
Yeah, they have garbage food. It's garbage food.
Did you ever see that 60 Minutes on how other countries, first world nations, do prison?
No.
It opens with this man riding his bike around a lake with his wife and 2 kids, okay? and they're having a picnic. And then it goes, they say his name, and he's like, was incarcerated for murder 2 years ago, and on Sundays he gets to spend with his family a free man. And they're like, we're not trying to punish him, we're trying to rehabilitate him. And like to take you away from your family and children, they do that, but only 6 out of 7 days a week. And like if you are well behaved, you can spend Sunday with your family.
That sounds like if you murder someone, you get like a sweet vacay, and you're like, no wife for a week.
He's still. He's still in prison, but they're just trying to help him, as opposed to like
making him worse.
It's just that our system is so screwed.
Our system was set up on a lot of oppression and anger. Not just our prison. I think just the United States. It seems like it was set up in a very like the people escaped to be free, and then they instantly created a new form of mental oppression and anger. It's a weird thing when you look back on it.
Are you familiar with Catholicism? Because
I've heard of it.
I mean, that's like, I feel like all of our laws came from that base. Or, it's all just like, we're going to shame you and guilt you and make you feel terrible at all times. Is there a second piece of great news?
Yes, there is. I officially became an uncle on Sunday.
Whoa! Somebody's a big boy almost.
Unk it up. Unk it up. Unk it up.
I don't know what that is.
I'm going to unk it up. That's my new TV show. It's going to be called Unked Up.
Unked Up.
It's just going to be
good one.
It's going to be uncles drinking a bunch of Miller Lite, listening to Motorhead, and then performing pointless feats of strength. It's going to be
that's cool.
Pretty awesome.
Where's the kid involved in this?
It's all about the unk, dude.
Sponsored by...
I already texted my brother and his wife
Tumblr?
and said...
Tumblr, Huck, Tuck Huck, Humbler.
Tuck Huck?
Tuck Huck Humbler? Is that what it was?
Hi, Tuck Huck. How are you? I already texted my brother's wife and was like, I don't know if you know this, but I'm pretty tired already being an uncle. Like, I have to do all the heavy lifting, and like parents have it easy. They just have to raise the kid. I got to be...
You got to be cool uncle all the time.
A role model all the time for this kid. You know?
Can you just send him just the soundbite of Trump constantly talking positive about babies and then going, I'm serious, get the baby out of here. Why would you think? And just be like, just so you know, that's kind of going to be me when the baby's when you come to visit. At first, they'll be like, oh, that's cute. Okay, can you get the baby out of the room?
Yeah, let's party.
Did he actually do that?
Yeah, he kicked a baby out of his speech.
Look, I don't support Trump. I'm not voting for Trump.
This is how Kosta stirs it up, though. He's like, I don't think he's as bad as everybody.
I do think every time I check Twitter's trending, it's some outlandish thing Trump did, and then you click it and you read it actually, and it's not that outlandish. So I just wonder, like, every time a Trump supporter sees that stuff, it just makes them believe in Trump more.
Correct.
It doesn't help at all. I don't
idiots.
like Trump. I'm not voting for Trump. I think he's an idiot.
No, but the media has helped him along the way.
It helps him more or less.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing.
Racist Trump said this, and you read what he said, and you're like, oh, that's stupid that he said that, but I wouldn't call it like Hail Hitler.
Correct, right. But you have to put it in perspective. It's like he's entertaining, and you should stay in the entertainment world.
Correct.
And stay out of the political world.
I agree with
that's the difference. It's just like I don't
just go be in the WWE. Run for president of the WWE.
It's refreshing that someone is shooting off the hip, but that person should be the fun uncle, the cousin that drank too much at the family reunion. It shouldn't be the president of the United States.
Right.
Look, that whole thing spiraled out of control. And as I said to my wife over and over and over again, you reap what you sow, and that world has created this, and I think the whole thing kind of happened a little bit on accident, but kind of on purpose because it was created that way.
Yeah.
But whatever. I think it'll all come out in the wash. But still, it's just the fact that it has gotten this far is just mind-boggling.
It's mind-boggling. I never would have thought he'd be this far, and if he becomes president, it is going to be crazy stuff, man. I don't know.
I think I do subscribe to what everybody else thinks, that either he's going to bail beforehand or he's going to bail afterwards. Even though he looks like he's believing all this, I think at some point every human being has to realize when they're in over their head.
How would he bail? Why would he bail before?
Well,
he's kind of setting it up to do so.
If
you
he
think
bails
about
before September 1st, then the party can squeeze other candidates on the ballot in certain states.
They're going to lose no matter what if that happens.
Which will still be a complete destruction of the party at this point. But if he waits till after, if he does it on the 2nd, they have no chance, and then she'll run unopposed.
This fucking guy is going to go all the way and try to win. I mean, of course we want him to bail, but there's no chance.
I think he will, only because to me, I just look at this as brand building.
Yeah.
It's just more money in his pocket, even if he loses. I mean, if the guy loses and 49% of America votes for him, that's 49% of the people who invest in future Trump's whatever the fuck,
49% of the people we need to ship to an island set on fire.
Well, some of those people are just like they don't even pay attention. They vote party line. They don't care. It's like they're not really. It's there's a small segment in anything that gets really extreme, and obviously you see those being posted online all the time. But it's just too extreme.
People that like Trump are responding to people. They hate political correctness.
Yes,
and I'm from Michigan. You guys, I know Illinois. I don't know where you're from.
Wisconsin.
Oh, right. Okay. We all know. Nice to be with Midwest people. There's a different system of belief over there that's like they hate this PC world, and here in LA, you kind of hate it, but you're just forced to interact with so many different types of people, and it's like it just doesn't work. It doesn't. But like they're just responding to him shooting off the hip. They're just responding to that.
Well, I agree. I agree in the sense that I don't think. Yeah, they're responding to him shooting off the hip, and people might hate the PC world, but like there's also certain things that you have to evolve.
Sure.
And I don't care where you live. You should evolve as well.
Correct.
Unless you're over 80 and you're Clint Eastwood, then you have.
And I liked how Clint Eastwood comes out. Brian's like, oh, now he's saying this. I hope there's not a scandal. Like
it was a joke.
Oh, I was like,
remember when everybody said? Remember when Cosby started getting older and he started speaking up? Yeah. People started getting mad at him for speaking up.
Yeah.
Because I think you get to a certain age where you're like, fuck it, I've earned it. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. I'm on the back nine.
My father is. I mean, he's taken that approach since the age of 60. Like, just openly, he's like, those are bad parents over there at a restaurant. I'm like, that everyone can hear you, including the parent, and it just stopped. They are okay, great, Dad, but he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. No, you get to I don't give a fuck age, and so be it.
Yeah,
I don't know who wrote, but he's like calling everyone a pussy generation or whatever he was saying, and I don't know if it was either Eli Olsberg, or I think it was Eli Olsberg. Well, anyway, but the post was pussy generation. The hardest job Clint Eastwood's ever had was being the mayor of Carmel, California. like what is he? He's been an actor forever. What is he? I mean, how hardcore is he? What is he talking about?
Well, people,
he's not out chopping down fucking trees and moving boulders, and he's not a prison guard. He's a fucking actor.
Every person always talks about, it used to be better when, the good life, right?
Sure.
That's subjective, though.
Sure.
Yes. Your good life is subjective. I didn't live your life. I don't know what makes a good life for
Tennis,
you.
baby, tennis and Puerto Vallarta.
But what I'm saying is, it's so subjective when people are like, it was so much better back in the 60s. For some people, yes. Yeah. And then there are other people that are like, it was fucking horrible.
Yeah, what was better? The fire hoses? Was that better for people? Was that what the
But I understand their point of reference. It was better for them.
Yeah.
It was. But it goes back to the evolution thing. It's like, everybody has to move forward. Stop fearing any skin color that is a tad bit darker than yours, or somebody that's from China, or you know what I mean? Like, there's always some reason to fear somebody else from somewhere else when they don't look like you.
But the fear is all. I mean, for the most part, it's mental. It's in your. You know what I mean? It's in your head. It's like.
But this is why the movie Independence Day really sums it all. Because
and they try.
If aliens do attack, we are going to have to come together.
Yeah,
no matter what.
Yeah, think about that. Starship Troopers kind of taught us that.
Yeah, exactly. If it's giant ants coming to attack you.
Stranger Things.
Oh, I like that.
I haven't gotten into it yet, but I am going to.
I liked it.
I'm going to.
Well, here's the thing with that. If you like 80s movies and you want to feel a tad bit nostalgic about it, you're going to be hooked immediately.
Well,
immediately you're going to get hooked.
That was my complaint with The Wedding Singer. Everyone said The Wedding Singer was so good, and I was like, it's not good. It's just 80s stuff, and it reminded us of being 80s.
Oh, I like The Wedding Singer.
Did you?
That's a funny movie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry, I got to go.
I
didn't dislike it. It was just like, oh, cool. They got the T-shirt right. They got the song right.
What do you think comedically? Obviously, you've been successful in the world of comedy, but everybody has influences and reference points for their own personal tastes. Last decade, what would you classify as a comedy that you believe actually holds its own and is just what you would classify as a great comedy?
A great comedy. A TV show, I would assume.
No, movie.
Oh, a movie.
Yeah,
a movie.
A lot of us can reference Stripes, Caddyshack, whatever. But in the last decade, since the 2000s or whatever, what would you classify as a home run that people will reference for the next 30, 40 years?
One of my favorite clips that I still will go to a couple times a month on YouTube is Will Ferrell and Anchorman saying milk was a bad choice. Do you remember? It's like hot out.
It's so hot.
It's so
milk
hot.
was a bad choice.
And I saw that movie in the theater and thought it was okay, but it has definitely aged well.
It has aged well.
Anchorman. It really has aged well.
Best thing Anchorman did was... Because I was hooked for this. The first fucking shot of him in that mustache, I was like, I'm seeing this fucking movie. I was in.
Yeah.
But then I watched the preview, and the trailer, whatever it was they were showing on TV, was this fucking 2 minutes of just pure comedy. And I was like, did I just see the whole fucking movie right there in that trailer? And then I went, and the first 5 minutes of the movie is every commercial that they ran. And then the movie starts.
Right.
So you only
cool.
You only see that shit the first couple minutes.
Yeah.
Come look at how good looking I am. Scotch. They do all that shit right up top, and then the movie starts, and then his character is there, and I laughed my ass off on that movie.
It's a funny movie. Along Came Polly is a very funny movie. I guarantee you didn't expect me to say that.
I didn't.
I think it just... It's just. I think it was underrated at the time. I think it's very, very funny. You don't see it very often now.
Did you ever see We're the Millers?
Yeah, it's funny.
I love that movie.
It's fucking funny.
Jason Sudeikis is really funny.
There's almost like there's almost the opposite of Anchorman 2. It's like, don't push the comedy that hard, and if it really is just funny, comedy fans will find it and love it. But We Are the Mill. I don't remember them advertising remember how Anchorman 2 pissed everybody off because the promos for it were, it was everywhere. It was so annoying. It was so done. And then you see the movie and it wasn't that good. Right, Zoolander to me, the original holds up. I know I'm probably saying popular comedy movies, but I think
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think those do withstand the test of time. One that doesn't withstand the test of time, that's there's a lot, but I can't think of one right now. But
Soul Man.
Soul Man.
I don't think that stands the test of time.
A lot of comedy. Now you watch Top Gun. Now you think it was a comedy. Yeah. You know, and you're like, I can't believe we ever thought this was sweet. At one point, they showed the same dogfight sequence like for the 5th time. You're like, they only bought like 3 clips from the Air Force. They just kept airing the same.
Can we space these out at all? It's starting to look like a pattern.
How did I not think? How did I take this movie seriously?
Well, because then you saw Iron Eagle and you were like, Top Gun is better.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess there's always a point of reference, right?
Yeah. I'm trying. Goon. Have you seen Goon?
That's a funny movie.
That's a really funny movie.
Obviously, it would never be hugely successful because it's a subculture.
Hockey, yeah.
But it's really well done.
That was like a straight to DVD.
Yeah. Jay Bouchenel wrote that movie, I believe.
That was a funny movie.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I'm trying to think of. I thought Bridesmaids was one of those movies.
Bridesmaids definitely is what you didn't.
I just don't think women are funny. You know? Yeah, Bridesmaids was great. Bridesmaids was fantastic.
Yeah, and it was just one of those things. Like me and Brian saw it in a theater, and we didn't
know anything.
There was no there was no expectation. I hadn't seen a trailer. I was like, I like Kristen Wiig. She's funny.
She's so funny.
Yeah, and boom,
she just
the movie
plays that kind of
who's
flawed character.
One of John Hamm's best roles too.
Yeah,
when he drives away and he's like. You used me, He's pissed. He takes off.
Yeah, that movie was really funny. I think that one would definitely hold the test.
I'm trying. What did I just watch?
There's not a lot.
though. Old school
Hot Tub Time Machine 2. I don't know if anyone has seen that movie.
I haven't.
But I watched it the other day, and it's as good as the first one.
Yeah,
I thought it was really.
That was funny.
Really funny.
The hardest I've ever laughed in a movie theater. Any time in my life. I truly fell out of the chair, and you've seen so many bad copies of this scene since, but when Will Ferrell shot himself in the neck with the dart, they slowed the sound down, and he's like, and you've seen that a bunch now. Everyone's been shot with a dart, and they slow the sound down. That had me falling over, and I guess both. I do like Will Ferrell a lot, but that scene alone was just like
Jim Carrey did that in Ace Ventura 2 with he's like
5 darts is too many or whatever it was.
Too much.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe just I really have a thing for darts.
Yeah,
like a big dart humor guy.
Not Will Ferrell, just the darts.
Yeah.
I was almost
combined darts and Will Ferrell.
That's true.
Oh my God.
Ace Ventura 2, that was before Old School. Was that Old School that he got shot in the neck?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't remember them slowing the sound down in Ace Ventura.
They didn't slow it down. He just said, he slowed himself down. He's like,
little tidbit that you guys probably don't know, but I did a reality version of Old School.
Oh
what?
Yeah,
for MTV.
Yeah,
did you?
Yeah, to promote the movie Old School, they sent me down to Long Beach with a couple other guys. And somebody Scotty Ward was part of that.
All right.
And go stay. We spent a weekend in a frat house.
No way.
Oh yeah.
Can you post that on the Hollywood Anonymous Facebook page?
Yeah. They, there are links to this.
I don't see. The thing is, I don't think I can post. I tried posting something the other day that I made, and Facebook went no. And then it said, if you're truly going to post this and it's all your property, then you need to give us your phone number, your mailing address.
Fuck
like it asked
Facebook.
all this shit, and I was like, well, then you know what? I don't know why you need my fucking home address to post something on Facebook. Then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Back to YouTube I go.
Did you see that there was a picture of Zuckerberg in his office recently, and he had tape over the webcam? And it was like you had to zoom in to see that, but like computer nerds went like nuts. Like here's Facebook's creator
using tape over his webcam.
Trusting his webcam, and it's like, why do any of us not have tape on our webcam?
No, there's some truth to that.
Yeah, there's some truth
Where's
to that.
the tape?
Yeah,
Where's that? Right
God, man, that is going to be some sweet beat-off face they're going to get out of me if they just look at that webcam.
No, but imagine they can get your beat-off face or beat-off video, and now they fucking reach out to you and say, give us $1,000 or we're going to upload you jerking.
Well, you know what? Then they'd be uploading everybody.
I go,
enjoy that, Facebook. It's been nice knowing you, everybody, but this is what it looked like when I beat off.
Unfortunately, they would, at this point, there is no such thing as a pure human being.
Correct.
So it's like, if you want to start playing that game, then just
trying to say that decency is gone. When the internet was invented in like 1983, that's the last decent time ever. People were like, hey, and then they found the internet. And any guy who was like, I'm decent. I'm like, let me see your last 100 internet searches. It's like, I spilled coffee on my computer. I gotta go.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like thinking about this as you're planning on having kids. You eventually plan on having kids.
At some point.
I don't know.
You know that the thing is we're so overexposed online. I mean, imagine trying to raise a kid and trying to tell them what they can and cannot do when they can just pull up some shit that you've done.
Yeah.
Online and go, really? You're going to tell, Dad? Really? Naked mom upside down cake stand?
Yeah.
So really, I'm the bad person here? Right? Like, you almost kind of lose that because our parents, I knew nothing about my mom and dad. Like, they presented such a great threshold of purity.
My parents had 7 pictures.
Yeah.
That was it.
2 of them were like faded out.
It was
so
like
you
their
really
wedding picture. That was it. There's no pictures.
Everything else was stories, so there was no fact-checking.
Correct.
So whatever they told you, that's all you knew about them.
Correct.
You know nothing about them.
They controlled the story.
Yes. And hence the power, right? And influence in the house.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the people like us, we've lost it all because we just share everything.
Yeah.
We're full on sharers. But it's going to come back to bite a lot of people in the
definitely.
ass.
And it's also going to be embarrassing for your kids when you're like, hey, man, I saw a video of your dad making some doing a sketch group or something. Oh, my dad's an idiot.
That's the worst
your
thing.
Dad doing stand-up? Oh, my God, who does he think he is?
I think there's some
who
other
they
people.
like Amanda Bynes? I don't know what kids think is funny anymore.
My dad's funnier than your dad. No, he's not. Look at this video of him in 2006 when he was on an improv team.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom says your dad is a loser because they were in an improv group together.
Oh, the harassment that a kid could face because of what your parents have posted too.
If millennial kids will be as sharing. Like we're sharing a lot. Kind of. I'm a little weird about sharing. I don't like talking about or
pick and choose.
Pick and choose. But millennials seem like it's just everything is out there. Like everything is out.
Is it, or they created their own narrative?
I'm not sure.
That's the thing.
I don't
know. They getting savvy?
Yeah, maybe they're getting savvy,
and they know how to create the narrative, and so maybe they're not sharing what you think that they're. I don't know.
I have this friend who lives in Newport Beach, and a girlfriend, and another friend of my one of my wife's friends was like, sounds like Jessica is having like such a great life in Newport Beach, and I was like, do you talk to her? And she's like, no, like her Facebook is like, and I'm like, yeah, because she posted 40 pictures of her having fun. No, like her boyfriend got hit by a fucking car and is like that. She's not posting that picture. That doesn't go on fucking Facebook.
Yeah.
But it's like it does warp your It
warps your sense of what if you buy into it. It warps your sense of other people. But then, like you said, some people do. Also, would I rather see 40 pictures of someone I don't know having fun, or one post about someone who just got taken off a breathing tube?
Yeah, no, correct.
It's like fuck,
Yeah. Speaking of that, so you're from Michigan.
Speaking.
Oh wait,
Is there more good news?
Yeah. Well, no, but you were talking about the hardest you ever laughed in a theater.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that was the.
I wanted to go back to that for a quick second because when I was in 8th grade, this all comes around. But when I was in 8th grade, I went on a double date with my friend Glenn and then these 2 girls.
Was that your first ever
Michelle
8th grade?
And Patty. I think it was like right around the time that I thought that
Did you wear cologne?
Boobs were starting.
Dude, I was so awkward, man.
Well, 8th grade dating, that's got to be awkward. So I'm just curious. Like,
my mom drove us to the movie theater, and what if I was like, I stole a car and tried to make this like. No, but
my friend served 14 years in prison.
He's just getting out now, just because we went to see.
Speaking of commuting sentences, Clinton got you out of that.
Yeah.
We went and saw Naked Gun, and on this date, and I had never seen it before, and they had never seen it. And the movie started, and then he does the thing where he gets off the plane, and the guy's like, Frank, they're not here for you. Weird Al Yankovic is on the plane.
Yeah.
I started laughing super hard at that point, and then the girl was like, hey, I have to go to the bathroom. And I was like, okay.
No.
And her and her friend they left and never came back.
Yeah,
they sat in the lobby.
Think it was funny.
Okay, that's not a date. That's not a date then. That's sad. You're right.
Me
It was
and my
sad.
buddies sat in that theater, and I was crying. Everything that happened in that movie had me in hysterics, dude. It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen on a big screen at that point.
Naked Gun, awesome. There's another great YouTube clip that I go to sometimes just to make me laugh, and it's Leslie Nielsen, and I forget the movie. It was Police Squad a movie or a TV show?
Police Squad was
started as a TV show.
It started as a TV show.
Okay.
The movie was Naked Gun. Files from Police Squad.
Okay, whatever this was, he walks in a room. He says hello to this man at the desk, and the man at the desk says, "Who are you? How did you get in here?" and Leslie Nielsen says, "I'm a locksmith and I'm a locksmith," and it is the funny. I think even on YouTube, it's greatest comedy line of all time. And I don't know. I would love to know more about like who wrote it and what movie it came from. But it is just
Zucker Brothers, man. When they were firing all cylinders back then,
is that shit funny?
Well, you got to think. I mean, Airplane. The first time you saw Airplane, I mean, I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it on.
But I don't think that stands up.
I think
I give it the credit it deserves, but I tried to watch it recently and it could
But for
not
the time,
do it.
though. But for the time, though, unbelievable.
Sure.
Everyone was quoting
Sure.
that stuff.
I think if you can kind of put your uncle hat on,
sure,
you can. That movie holds up.
Well, you can do that easily now. Yeah.
I'm wearing it right now, guys. Call me Uncle John from now on.
Yeah.
Luciana Hope Huck.
Oh, that's a nice name.
I thought that was your name. I was like,
that's what I want you guys to call me
from now
on. No, that's the name of my niece.
Great.
So if you guys want to send money or anything, I'll get that P.O.
Hope
box
is
set
a
up.
funny name. Like you would never name
Despair?
Yeah, you would never be like,
"Hi, Billy Despair Johnson."
Are we sure? Let's Google Despair Huck and see if, well, it would probably come up you.
It's just a bunch of pictures of me like...
Not posted by you, posted by everyone in your family.
Oh
That's
my
when
God.
they that's when you realize how they really feel about you.
I don't want to say Hope is a funny name. It's a beautiful name, but you know, it's an optimistic name. You would never give someone a pessimistic
Right.
name.
I think it gives. Do you believe in that theory that like the name actually gives you a better chance in life?
Usain Bolt?
Naggy Despair.
No, I mean he's the fastest
Usain
name that's
Bolt.
ever existed.
His name definitely made him faster.
There's a bunch of wide receivers whose last name are Hands. There's a bunch. Dude, for sure.
But even the first name.
Well, yeah.
Like, do you think if your name was not Mike?
Yeah. If it was like,
I don't know,
great second serve Costa or something.
Lenny.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I think your name has a lot to do with the personality that you form.
It's interesting to me. I don't disagree. It is interesting.
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, I used to tell a joke about being named Michael back when we didn't have cell phones. You would always have to call someone and say, like, you couldn't just say it's Michael. You have to. It's Michael Kosta. I met you because there's so many Michaels.
Right.
I've like most of my life, I felt like I've had to like,
Just use your last
call
name.
me Costa or call. You know, I was the guy. But if your name is Ashafonte, you're not like it's Ashafonte from the. Remember we met it. No, I know where you
I'm not
fucking
going to
are.
forget Ashafonte. I got it.
So did you go through a phase where you were kind of bummed that you felt like you had a generic name? Did that bother you? I know there's that whole thing when you're a kid. You're like, I wish that you always have these weird wishes.
Yeah, I remember like not necessarily loving my name, and then this is just a typical child and stupid brain of mine. When I realized that Michael Jordan, that his name had the same amount of letters in his first name as my name, I was like, that's cool. Now, as I got older, I was like, you just had the same name. Like, that's why you have to actually count it? I was like, he has that number. I has 7 or 8, whatever the fuck it is. And I was like, so once I realized that there was other cool people named Michael, but it is a generic. Did
you ever consider your middle name?
Well, my middle name is another thing that makes people laugh, although it's my grandfather's name, is Bert. So I couldn't really go with Bert.
Had you thought about it and you're like, no, it's not. No.
I mean, do we know any Berts?
Kreischer.
That's it.
Bert Kreischer and maybe Bert Haas at the Zanies of Chicago, a favorite of many people.
Yeah.
That's about as many Berts.
So
Bert. There's a guy, Bert Borth, from Illinois that I know.
And Ernie and Bert. So did you feel like
and
it's just too...
Yeah, no,
like an old person's name?
I was never upset with my name. I just thought it was
my name's Art.
I thought it was a generic name. Yeah.
No, I used to be upset about Bryan, and my middle name was Patrick, and then I thought, well, maybe I could go with Patrick. And then I thought,
Patrick
but then
Erwin.
you really, if you're going to switch your name, you got to go full force. Otherwise, they're gonna, you think trolls are bad on the internet.
Yeah.
Trolls are just they existed in middle school, so it's like that's so you would really have.
There's
to
no
fight.
hemming and hawing.
No.
You got to go. No, I have a fine name. I'm happy with my name, and most people who know me call me Costa. Anyways, the biggest challenge with my name is everyone thinks it's spelled with a C. Like
Goes Costco.
Like I guess, or they go, oh, like Bob Costas. No, because he has an S in the end and it starts with a C. So not like that.
Was that Kane? And then he just introduced you to someone from a different state and then walked away.
Yeah.
This
guy's from Indiana. Bye.
I'm not from. Okay, I know what you're doing. Never mind. Keen's a classic for that. The introduction and that
Pat
doesn't.
Keen?
Yeah, he loves to introduce. When he wants to leave, he doesn't say "I'm out." What he'll do is be like, "John,
And then
Kosta.
that's a good move.
You're from
Chicago. You're from Chicago. You're from Michigan, right? You guys probably
move.
Tigers, Cubs, and then he just walks off.
And you're like, there was no tie in there. You didn't, and you realize it's too late. He's
just
gone.
grab two people, say some facts about him, and then leave.
He's gone.
Hey, you're tall. You're from Michigan. You're from Illinois.
Michigan. Did you love growing up in Michigan?
Yeah, I did.
Where at in Michigan? Were you in
Ann Arbor, Michigan? So it's very easy to be a Michigan sports fan.
Is it rabid? Is it football and basketball?
Yeah, I wouldn't say rabid. I thought so at the time, and then you go to like
Ohio,
LSU, Columbus, and you see that Michigan is a great school, and most Ann Arbor is very pretentious. It's all of my parents' friends, not my parents, were like PhD, and they'll sit around and talk about like if the Electoral College is still relevant, as a kid, and you're like,
right.
What the fuck are you guys talking about? And so it was a good, but Midwest is a great place to grow up. We had a great yard. We had kids riding their bikes everywhere. I mean, I didn't have a bike lock ever. You just threw your bike, whatever, and your dad said, "Get these bikes off the lawn." And so it was just a great, safe place to grow up. 8 months of winter sucked. 7 months of gray sucked.
At what
the winter
point,
only sucked after you got to a certain age.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
There's kid, it's like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. But here's the reason why. Because winter to a kid is days off from school, sledding,
Yeah.
skating.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yep.
When it's an adult, it's scraping windows.
Yeah,
it's
shoveling driveways. It's
everything about it.
Cars
is
breaking down.
Car sliding down on the black
Traffic
ice and
accident.
death. Like, it just, everything changes. Then you're like, fuck this.
I thought it was cool that you could put your beer outside, and it would stay cool. I remember, when on my tennis team in Illinois, like all these kids would come out from Miami, and they'd be like, "We don't have any space for the beer," and it's like, "Idiot, we have all the space for the beer.
yeah.
We can't buy enough.
Open
beer.
the front door, throw it in the snowbank.
Yeah, we're fine."
You could put stuff in your outside, and no one would ever. Well,
my mom was finding like old Miller Lite cans for my brother's bachelor party because
after the thaw.
I did that. I just shoved them all into this snowbank right outside the front door.
And the thaw happens, and it's like
she's like, there's like 5 beers down there. I'm like, oh.
Neighbor's cat, John's party from 6 months ago.
Man. Frozen condom. Someone's fucking.
Party.
Yeah.
No, so you and your youth was mostly sports driven, or where did the comedy bug come from?
It was sports. I always wrote jokes, which was weird. I have like journals in second grade. I have jokes.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what inspired that though?
I love Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
And my family was a teasing family. Like we never said you just want to turn off your cell phone, or
there it is. I don't know where it is. I couldn't find it earlier. Could call.
No one will call me for 9 days, and whenever I record a podcast, the doorbell rings, the phone goes off. The
plumber
heater
comes over
explodes. It's like, what?
Yeah, we've given up. We just let it be a part of the show at this point. I like how you're like, you gonna do something about that, or you just
nope. We let it ring, pretend it's not happening.
That's the difference between this and professional radio.
No, this is professional. We got mic stands. This is once a year I do a podcast with mic stands. This is exciting.
I have a whole radio background. I can't help myself.
Oh, my God. You know what? The show should be called How Many Times Will Brian... When will Brian mention his radio background?
No, I've mentioned it like 3 times
You've mentioned it every
70 shows.
You've mentioned it every show for the last like 5 or 6 shows.
Well, I had no choice because you brought it up.
Well, what does
Yes,
radio background mean? You listen to radio in the background, or you produce
I have the radio on when I vacuum.
See?
Radio background. Okay.
You've never bothered to fact check. I was waiting for someone to actually call me out on it.
No, you've talked about the radio station several times.
All right, fine, whatever.
Remember Midwest? Remember as a kid turning the radio on and listening to the snow days, to the schools?
Yeah, what, the school
and they'd be
closures?
like, okay, Washtenaw County, and they'd be like, they go down, they're like, well, yeah, look at yes! Oh, love that.
Grade school was never an issue for me because the school was right across the street. So, I mean, they did cancel it, like, I think maybe twice in my
But were a lot of other kids just across the street, or was it like?
I mean, a lot of us walked, but like not really right across the street.
When I worked in radio, we never actually read the snow
we didn't
days.
Go to school.
What do they do now? They don't. Do they?
I don't even know. I think it's all internet.
It's the internet.
Oh, robocalls and emails,
or just text messages. Yeah,
text messages. It's all
alerts.
Well, like was it last year? Whenever there was with the bomb, remember the bomb threat? All LAUSD shut down.
It was Manhattan and L.A.
Yeah,
I like how they didn't discriminate.
Obviously, they go to the news, but not everybody wakes up. I don't watch the news in the morning, there's robocall. There's like so many. There's
Twitter.
no way you're missing it. They send it through everything now.
Yeah,
I get all my news off of Twitter.
No,
well, a lot of it anyway.
I wait for my neighbor to knock on the door.
and say something's going on.
Even though he has no kids.
He's like,
hey, just want to let you know.
He's going to knock soon because I parked right in front of his house.
John's favorite.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Anyway, so
was he out there?
No,
No,
but
no,
Bryan made me kind of feel like it was okay that I parked there.
Well, because
it's fine. I mean, he'll come over. It's fine. He'll come over, but it's fine. Like one of those deals.
Well, because I felt if I didn't, because John gets so angry about it.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't understand what his beef is.
Neither do I.
Well,
Nobody
it's
does.
a parking spot
Yeah,
that he
It
doesn't
is.
own.
So what's
Yeah.
the
So
fucking...
we're allowed to park there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
correct.
don't understand. Like,
And there's shade. It was the only shaded area.
I
That's
took
why I
the
felt
shade.
guilty.
it's like
I took
90
the-
degrees outside.
I took the shade.
I was very passive aggressive. I apologize. So writing jokes. So you're watching Saturday Night Live in second grade, which is interesting because you would think your parents would be like, "That's not really appropriate for a second grader."
They had to stop letting me watch it because I couldn't fall asleep. But what else is funny about it is I never once wanted to do sketch, which was a sketch show.
Yeah.
I always loved stand up, so I don't really get. Maybe it was just like the way it made me feel. I liked, you know.
You obviously were familiar with stand-up as well if you were writing jokes, so you knew.
Sure, I would write what I thought were funny things, and then my mom used to do this thing, and this is so like great mom thing, but every night, not every night, but most of the nights, she would like tuck me in, and she would go, "Tell me something that you're happy for, you know, tell me something." And I forgot the other ones, but she did usually every night say, "You know, tell me something you laughed at today." And I can always remember, like, it was like in some weird way that influenced me.
Yeah.
Right? You know,
That's also smart because usually parents are like, "What happened at school today?" And your answer is going to be nothing, or someone fell and everyone laughed. Like that's
and it was like, "Did you do something to help somebody today?" And we know these are all wonderful things. And by the way, I never help anybody now today, so I don't know. Like, this certainly didn't influence me. But I mean, I don't know. She was a social worker,
You
and that was
help people by writing your comedy and
There we
telling
go.
your jokes.
There we go. I like
because
that.
people need to laugh.
The first live concert I ever went to. It makes again no sense, but my mom took me. It was fucking Dennis Miller. I mean,
Wow,
I was
really?
12. And I love Dennis Miller. I can still.
Well, he was doing the news on SNL.
He's
probably
doing the
when you were
news,
12.
and I just loved the confidence.
Yeah.
I love the
Squeak
arrogance.
squab.
Yeah, I love the hair and
Captain Hairdo.
You know, I still don't know any of his references. You know, he would do like something on the Iran Contra deal or whatever the fuck it was, and I would have no clue what
Right.
he was talking about. But
Real Ollie North, am I right, people?
I mean, DB Cooper walks in. I'm like, what are you? I have no idea what he's talking about. I just heard him do a rant on XM, and I was driving, and I wrote down the references. Like, I need to Google all of this. I don't know, but it made me laugh. The confidence of that reference, and when you did learn the reference, it was right. Like, it was funny, you know.
Yeah.
So your mom actually encouraged you in some ways
Sure.
to continue to
Be a
like.
better
She
person.
She obviously saw
That I enjoyed it so much.
enjoyed it
Yeah.
versus going,
Yeah.
"All right, knock it off, go do your math or
Yeah.
whatever." you
Yeah,
know.
I mean, my mom took me to see Dennis Miller for the first time. She used to took me to see Cosby a couple times.
Ooh, that's rough.
He gave her a couple Quaaludes. And,
Yeah, man.
No, but
So there was some encouraging there, but you were writing these jokes, but so here's the thing.
yeah.
It's one thing to write the jokes.
Yeah.
It's one thing to believe that you're funny, but were you funny? Meaning that, like, the people you hung out with, were they either annoyed by you or were they
Do you ever
actually you're
forget
the
that
funny guy?
you ever forget that you're funny because you're in comedy all the time and the other day I went and did something non-comedy related. It was at a friend's party and I had like a cocktail and I was talking with my friend and I made like people laugh a couple times and I literally turned to my friend and I was like, I forgot that I was funny.
Yeah.
Like I forgot that because I was the kid that was funny but now I'm like, is that gone? And then you go to interact with normal people, and you're like, no, we're funnier than these people.
Do you find that people actually genuinely get excited when they know that you're there and that you're a professional comedian and because they live in a world where whatever the hell they're doing,
Yeah.
there's just not a lot of that, or
Yeah.
at least there's the one guy that thinks he's funny, but they get more excited when somebody actually does that for a living. And
Sure, and they want to ask 100 questions.
I was going to say, then isn't it the most goes from being like, oh, that's nice to being the most uncomfortable.
No, I don't want to put the negative spin on it. What I mean is like they're just excited, like they're fascinated,
Yeah.
and they're actually
Yeah.
happy. They're not trying to make you do dance monkey dance, but they're kind of like they have this level of like happiness.
It happened. It happened last night. The guy goes, "What do you do?" And I go, "I'm a stand-up comedian." He goes, "No, for real?" And he was pumped. And then I was like, "Okay, I know the next question is like, do you love Dane Cook or whatever?" And so I moved on. But It is nice. It is nice that they're excited about it. But I was the kid more in school that when I would be gone for the day and I would come back, the teacher would go, "We got so much done yesterday."
Okay.
You know, I wasn't Mr. Class Clown, but it was like there was always a
disturber.
comment. There was always a comment. There was always a, you know, like, "Am I right?" or something like that.
Yeah, that's what she said, everybody.
Yeah, I probably thought that's what she said was really funny.
Yeah, no, I was the same. I know exactly what you're talking about. I was disruptive all the way through college.
Yeah.
There are teachers that would hate to see me still to this day because I was and I was never a dick. Well, I was, but not a dick to them. I was a dick because I was just disruptive.
Yeah.
Right? I was just trying to always.
Isn't that a comic's job to disrupt things?
Well, in hindsight, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
I had a librarian in grade school. Mrs.
Your own personal one?
No,
that's amazing.
We had a butler and a librarian. That's the other
and the school was across the street.
But this lady, Mrs. Cornell, I can't imagine she would still be alive today. But
if she is, hope she's listening.
I seriously doubt she listens to the podcast. But she told me.
She's actually going to draw pictures for us and send them
to the P.O. box.
She told me when I was doing something in the library, our class was in the library, and I was just being obnoxious, you know what I mean? And I was just taking it too far and whatever.
Yeah.
And she kind of just casually said to me, she's like, you know, there's a fine line between like funny and then annoying.
Yeah.
But you know what?
And
advice.
And I was like, I thought about it. She's like, you don't have to bother people to be funny.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's good.
Oh.
You also learned that line at the age of 10.
Yeah. Well, this was before 10.
I remember I used to always trying to be funny really hurt people's feelings. And now it still happens, but a lot less. Like I've figured out where that edge
yes,
is.
Right. It still happens, but now when it happens,
you're a kid, you got to learn that.
Someone gets overly offended by something, and you're like, "Oh, your feelings suck." Because
right.
But back in the day, you're right. You would be like, right, Bucky, look at the teeth," and then everybody would be like, "Hey, dickhead, that guy's the biggest problem is his teeth." And you're like we pointed out at Bryan's arms all the time or something. Like
I can take it because I actually, I Catholic, raised Catholic.
Sure.
And
he already hates himself,
and I feel bad about that. I did comedy at someone else's expense. Not someone, but people. That's what is part of the learning curve. And some people are like, and again, I agree with you. Like, I've never completely gotten over that. You just do it less and less. But every once in a while, people are like, you need to not. It's not about it's someone else's expense here. You're funny. Yeah. But why don't you stick to just funny? You don't have to attack somebody to get the laugh.
And you find yourself doing that kind of thing around you're really close friends, and even then you're like. I don't know why I would say that because I'm no better than that dude.
You're my best friend.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, about other people. If I'm with my buddy Tim, it's always like, "Oh, look at this guy over here," and then I immediately come back with, "I can make fun of the way people look because I'm a model."
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I know that I'm no better, and all I was doing was trying to get a laugh out of him, and I would have never done that in front of anyone. It's just,
it is a punchline. It's a punch. I think we do. There's a target.
Yeah.
Every joke has it's not a hug line. It's like every joke has a target. Now, if you make it personal and directed, it's it's easier to make your punchline about Trump or America, as opposed to Steve's lazy left eye. That is a targeted.
Well, there's also things that can't be fixed. And people are born with certain things, and that's just the way people are. And then there's things like America that can be fixed, and that should be of the focus of something that needs fixing.
Yeah, correct.
So you obviously played sports. Tennis was your sport.
Yeah.
And did you, when you were the funny guy, all the way through? Well, no, I'm just saying all the way through high school.
What a racket!
Was your Did you? Good one. Did you ever think that I want to pursue a career in show business, or were you realize, I'm actually talented at tennis, and your focus was I'm going to do this?
Yeah, I was a good athlete in all sports, just like an athletic.
See how I brought that in? I said tennis,
Midwest
but he wanted to make sure we knew.
Well, no,
beyond tennis.
It was funny because I started in middle school. It started to be clear that tennis was the sport, and then when Dad realized that could maybe mean not paying for college, it was like, hey,
bought you some new shoes. Here's a racket,
and you're not playing football this year.
Yeah,
which fair enough. But no, I mean. he saw my enthusiasm for the sport. It wasn't like he wasn't crazy.
He didn't pick that because he thought you were the best at it. And go, now you're going to play tennis. You're like, but I like basketball. Shut up.
Yeah, we all like winning, and I was winning most at this thing.
Right.
So let's do that thing.
Yeah. Continue the streak.
But tennis, if I remember from tennis growing up, was that the kids that actually were good at tennis, I felt like their lives were just sucked up with just tennis practice all the time. They were like with my other friends that were good at like football and baseball and basketball. They didn't get sucked away and have a guy that took them to and they were always doing it. Were you that guy?
Because those are team sports, and you're always around those other guys, and you're like, so you don't feel like you're just absorbed by a sport because there's still a social aspect to it.
But even the amount of practice though was limited to where tennis. I always felt like the tennis kid was always doing tennis.
But it's yes at that time, but now it's changed. Okay. Like if you're a high level basketball, baseball player, your summers are tied up year round. But so tennis, people specialized very early. We didn't have we were middle class. I didn't have like private coaches and all that stuff. But I would argue that if I would have done that earlier in my life, that I probably would have been better later.
Okay.
I mean, I remember like when I was playing professionally and I would watch some of these kids and I was like, you're just way better at this than me.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I didn't actually get good until I was 17.
The 10,000 hours.
Yeah. Or just like also 10,000 focused, well-coached hours.
Yeah.
I was like on the backboard figuring it out by myself, which is, you can get you very far. But, I remember like one time I was watching this guy serve and I was like, the mechanics are so perfect. Every time I serve, I scream in pain. Probably because, like a pitcher, like you can pitch longer and more efficiently if you have good mechanics.
Yeah.
So I never thought showbiz was an option at all. I just always enjoyed comedy. I wrote jokes as a way to get away from tennis because you kind of eat, drink, and sleep your obsession. And I would write down things that were funny. And then I got the assistant coaching job at University of Michigan. I was finally in one city. Ann Arbor is this kind of arts community city.
Did you go to college?
I went to University of Illinois for 4 years.
You did?
Graduated from there, Champaign-Urbana.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you traveled for a little bit?
I traveled for about 3 years. 3
years?
Around the world playing tennis. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would go... In tennis, back in the day, you would fax the ITF, which was the International Tennis Federation in London, and they would tell you, like... All right, you got into these tournaments, but you didn't always know where. Like one of them was in Jeju Island in South Korea, so you had to like organize that, And what you quickly learn is, oh, great, I can get into that tournament, but then I'm going to have diarrhea for 9 days. Right, so it was like it's better to almost not get into the tournament and like
not have
go to Indianapolis and play qualifying and maybe like not lose 35 pounds.
Normal food and not get dehydrated.
So it was such a fucking learning experience. I mean, you're sharing hotel rooms with other players. So
yeah, you're not getting like a suite to yourself.
You're
Some of this stuff is expensive as shit to go where you're going.
I was in Mexico City one year. I shared a hotel room with this former Northwestern player named Alex Witt. And then the draw comes out, and I'm playing him the next day. So I'm going to bed like, good night, opponent, And it's like,
same bed?
Sleeping with one eye open. Like,
please don't drug me.
Yeah. And we agreed that whoever won, because once you lose, your tournament's done. You got to go on. And we agreed that whoever lost would get to stay in the hotel. So not only that, I lost, and now I'm going to bed with the guy that beat me. And it's like, what the fuck is? It's not glamorous. It's not sexy.
It's like featuring.
It's like featuring.
It's like featuring. There's nothing. You get paid absolute shit. You gotta pay your way there. You gotta. Sometimes they don't even put you up anymore.
It's a little John Husky.
Yes,
for real. It is.
It's like, a little John Husk.
Like, so.
Did you ever win a tournament?
I won only doubles. I won 4 professional tournaments as a doubles player. I was a much better doubles player.
Who's your partner?
There was a partner.
Andy Roddick.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There's a player named Raven Clausen who's now currently, and this is what
sounds like a character on Game of Thrones. Jesus, he's Raven Clausen.
He's speaking of names.
Yeah, he's South African. He's top 20 in the world in doubles.
Okay.
He played an Australian Open final. He almost won the Australian Open. But when I quit. And by the way, when you have my ranking, you don't retire.
You just stop playing.
You quit. Yeah. Everyone's like, I'm retiring. I'm like, you're not retiring. If you have 3 digits in your ranking, you are quitting. Raven stuck with it, and it was 11 years later he made the Australian Open final. I mean, it's just it was like persistence up the ass, and I was
with anything, if you can hang on, and
you can hang
keep
on,
doing
and
it.
I didn't want to do that for 11 years.
Okay.
I'm willing to maybe, I think, put in those years in comedy, but tennis, it's too physically and emotionally daunting for me.
So you finally are like, you're burnt out. You're tired of doing this thing. You get a gig back home.
I'm in Ann Arbor. I'm in the same city. There's open mics. I always thought it'd be fun to watch. I used to go watch open mics, and I think a lot of comics started this way. You're never inspired to start by a great comic because you're like, what a great comic.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
I could never be that funny.
I could never be that funny, and sometimes we still even feel that way. But I was watching who was doing comedy, and
you're like,
and I was like, I know I can do that. I know I can be better than that fucking guy. And so I signed up. I got super drunk.
Yeah.
Performed.
Wait, are you stealing Huck's stuff right now?
Yeah,
Because it sounds like John Huck's story.
That's
but
how you start. And I thought I killed, and and then
how much time did you have to do? Like 3 minutes,
5 minutes or something. And Michigan's a great place to start. I think the Midwest is a lot of stage time.
Yes,
no
that's
real
true.
Stakes.
No,
there's no like scout.
No. The worst is some of your friends might be like, "Oh,
what are you doing with your life?"
Yeah. Or you get suckered into some competition where I'd invite everyone I knew.
Ooh.
Did you invite anybody out? Now, were you telling people that you were going to go do this open mic, or did you keep it quiet?
I wasn't, because at the time I was coaching tennis at University of Michigan. I was recruiting student athletes. Yeah, I'm not going to like go have dinner with some kid's parents and tell them about how
I tell fart jokes.
Look, we're going to build your son into a real man, and it's all about accountability. And then like that night, I'm like you ever gone down on a girl on her period?
What kind of jokes were you doing when you first went up? Did you play to the crowd, or did you actually go to your old notebook and be like, I'm going to tell some of these?
Second grade Kosta
What's
came out.
Mrs. Tracy's coloring class. My first joke, I don't know how to answer that, but my first joke ever, I had the host bring me up and say, this next comic has a black belt in karate. And then I said, yeah, crotch karate. And then I jumped into the audience and I pretended to karate chop people with my dick. So what is that?
Physical, isn't it?
I guess
it's an act out, kind of. You're doing a little...
Which I don't do now. So I don't know. I just wrote what I thought was going to be funny. And
so crotch karate black belt.
Yeah, crotch karate black.
Well,
I like how I thought the host was going to set it up and it was going to crush.
Did people enjoy getting fake whacked with your dick?
I don't think so. No. I think my next joke was I met a girl, she's a virgin. Well, she was a virgin. And then I would go like, so I really responded to arrogance and self-appreciation in comedy. I loved Dennis Miller. I loved Don Rickles. So, when you start, you take what you like and you just have no clue how to execute it.
No,
right.
but
so I went
mixing all that stuff together, you find your own voice.
You figure your own.
But you do this first time. You have a real job. A world that you're very, very familiar with.
Yeah.
You're fucking around with this very unfamiliar world in these bars doing open mics or whatever. You do it the first time. Obviously, you get hammered.
Yeah.
That night, you say to yourself, I'm going to keep doing this?
I got off stage, and I said to my sister, who was drunk too, who's now 12 years sober, that's how good my set was. It made my sister go, whoa, I got to clean this shit up. I said, that's the most fun I've ever had. Okay. And that's when I kind of clicked, like, oh, I wrote jokes in first grade.
Like, I've always...
Like, why am I not... I think sports
this.
almost blurred the real vision in a way, because I was good at it.
And when did you finally get a legitimate gig? How long did it take from the open mics to the persistence of that before you actually got a club gig?
I remember a guy came up to me after a couple of open mics and was like, do you want to do my club? It's got a wood stage. And we were like, whoa. Like, is that a good thing? And then I did that. And then someone hired me at a bowling alley for $20 in the basement. And I remember bombing in the basement, but you could hear the strikes above you. So it was this weird dichotomy of like failure below, and but then success up there, and it was like just a fun. But that was maybe a year in, and then till I got a feature gig, another 2 years maybe, and then I moved out to L.A. 6 or 7 years in. I mean,
so did you tour? Were you a touring?
I would have been a Midwest feature at road act, and I sold T-shirts, and But then I realized when I saw kind of who makes it in the Midwest, and I was like, I don't think I want that path.
Yeah.
Because that's where it kind of stays there, right?
And it just gets, not every comic in the Midwest is this way, but the headliners in general, that's super hacky, not funny, not original. And I was like, I would see that and I go, I don't want that path.
Well, that's what I would classify. No offense to those people, but I would classify that as survival comedy. It's a gig. It's a job.
Yeah.
It's like I know what I can deliver to these clubs for their 2-drink minimum or whatever they want out of it. Make my paycheck. I know exactly how much money I'm going to make this year.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad in some ways because you feel like they've given up on their whatever it was that drove them, or maybe that's as good as it was ever going to get for them. But what for you? You're out there and you're featuring. What made you say, all right, you know what? I'm giving up what I got.
Yeah.
A stable job where I know I'm good at something, and I'm out of here. I'm going.
I remember, again, everything seems big at the time. Now you look back and you're like, what? It was nothing. But I guess at the time it was everything because it was. I entered the Washington, D.C. Comedy Festival. Doesn't even exist. It was probably exactly like these tiny festivals that but it felt real. They had a logo,
Yeah.
I entered it, I got into it, and I asked my head coach at Michigan. I said, "Hey, I know we're playing Indiana Purdue this weekend,
Jesus,
but can I go do the Comedy Fest?" And he was like, "Are you out of your fucking mind? Like you're an employee of the University of Michigan. It's a big matches for us." And then when he said no, which he should have said no, he 100% should, but I was furious at him. It's like when your dad's like, no, you have to do the job.
Yeah. It's called youth and you get ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I said, okay, this is my last year coaching and I'm going to pursue this. And so I think...
What was the look on his face when you said that?
Well, I told him, I didn't tell him right then. I told him later. Okay. He's been supportive of me.
Oh, okay.
He's come. Yeah. He was good. I didn't want to be a college tennis coach. College coaches, you are your entire success and failure, your happiness is all reliant on whether or not 17-year-old boy high school students decide to go to your college. And it never stops. Every year, recruiting sucks. They think they're men, they're boys, and they sometimes decide to go to your school, and lots of times they don't, and it fucking sucks. And I wish... I would be a college coach if you could get out of recruiting. And that's what the pros is, essentially, I think. There's no recruiting.
That's why a lot of guys don't want to go back to college. They just don't want to have to visit all these houses and talk the same talk over and over again.
It sucks. And it's you get to the point where you're lying. You don't want to lie. Of course I'm never going to leave this job. I'm going to be here for your son every single day. It's just tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. So... and then I got into the Aspen Comedy Festival, which was a big thing at the time.
While still in Michigan.
No, like a year later, I submitted tapes.
This is after you moved.
Do you know what year that was?
2006 was the last year.
So the last year that HBO did it.
Correct.
It was the U.S. Comedy Arts Festival.
Correct. And had you done anything
I must have driven you around then.
You were a driver?
I was a van driver.
Shut up.
I drove for that festival for like 3 or 4 years.
I remember I flew in a day early for some reason, and everyone else's flights got delayed because of weather. So I had 4 shows booked. I ended up doing 9. I had maybe 4.5 minutes. I mean, I could barely stretch to the 5. So that festival, I mean, they saw the exact same set for me, everywhere. But I was green. It was exciting.
Yeah.
And I showcased for the buyer or the booker then in Chicago, and I drove to Chicago and did it, and it just went well. So... And then I moved out here thinking, everyone told me to move out here. You move out here. And all these agents, whoa, yeah, we can't wait to see you. We got this for you. We got this for you. I moved out here. I called everybody. No one called me back. And it was like, oh shit,
Did you know anybody out here when you decided to move out here?
No, not really. No.
So were you not even one friend couch crasher? Or what did you end up doing? Did you save your money and got your own place? And
Craigslisted with a gay Israeli jewelry designer. And I used to always feel guilty calling him an asshole because he was gay. And I was like, no, wait a second. Gay people can be bad people, too.
Oh, right.
Yeah. This was a bad person. He was a bad fucking...
Now, when you say bad, so you go on to Craigslist, Los Angeles Craigslist, you're living wherever. You're still in Ann Arbor at this time?
A bad person online?
And what, he says he's renting a room or something like that? Or needs a roommate?
Renting a room on Formosa and Fountain.
Oh, all right.
I drive my Honda Civic to L.A.
From Michigan.
2 things happen within 5... I park... the key isn't ready for me or some shit. I have a bike on my car. I take the bike off. I lock it to the gate. Okay. I walk down to Jones Cafe, or not Jones, Formosa Cafe. You know Formosa Cafe?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'll get something to eat or whatever while I'm waiting for this key to be made. I walk in. I see Andy Dick. He grabs my nipples. I've been in L.A. 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes. I'm from Michigan. I don't know. I don't know. He grabs my nipples. He says something like, "This kid's cute." He had a tether on his ankle at the time. I mean,
a tether or like a house arrest bracelet?
I don't know. I don't know the difference.
Okay.
But there was a black box attached to his ankle.
That's a house arrest or a sober house type.
And I guess looking back, people tell me like I guess he used to just go on these fucking
benders,
and people would see him everywhere around Hollywood. So I was like, holy shit, that's Andy Dick. I don't get it. I hang out with it, whatever. I go back up to my new apartment. The bike that I had locked on the gate now has someone else's lock on the bike. Okay, like a different lock. It has my lock also, but it's a different lock. So I'm like yelling, like, "What happened?" This Russian woman comes. I'm just literally like welcome to West Hollywood. She's screaming at me. Over the course of time, I can find out that she was mad I locked the bike on her gate. I don't know. I'm like, okay, can you unlock it? She goes, no, I'll unlock it when I want to unlock it. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
But this is welcome to Hollywood. I mean, it's like I had no fucking clue. Everyone was crazy. And of course they're crazy. This is a Craigslist. I go up. The guy's, he's very nice and gay at the time, but he's just a fucking dick, and his roaches everywhere. I'd wake up every morning and turn the lights on, and they would all fucking scatter. They'd go into the bathtub, and they'd go into the sink, and... I spent a lot of time back in the Midwest when I first moved here. It was too tough.
You drove back, or you would leave your stuff there?
I would fly back, and I would do like 3-week runs, or work at clubs. And I guess it was good because I could only handle this life for short periods. And I hear people now that move with their friend and they get an apartment, and I'm like, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I buddy up with somebody and move here? I mean, it was so tough by yourself.
But it builds the... this is going to sound cliche, but it does build the character. Yeah. It determines whether or not you're willing to survive all this bullshit or not.
Yeah.
It seems like, and we've talked to a lot of people about this and shared our own experiences, that's just part of the game. If you're going to come out here...
Yeah.
I mean, yours is a little bit funnier than most, but... But the point is that, that's the kind of shit you have to put up with if you want to stay here.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really ever go away. You just learn how to navigate.
Yeah, and you figure it out. Through connecting with people that you trust, they say, hey, man, why did you get a roommate off of Craigslist? They say, like, you go, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. But, yeah, the hardest part of making, quote, unquote, making it in comedy isn't necessarily performing on stage.
It's not.
It's all this other shit.
Where was the first gig you did out here?
Do
you remember?
Here, I went to. I think at the time it was maybe Chuckle Monkey. Is that still a website?
Yes. Chuckle Monkey was before. Yes.
Yeah, because that was like now the Comedy Bureau or whatever, but it had a list of all the things,
the open mics and the stages. This is a booked room. This is an open mic. You got to sign up at this time and like.
So I would go do some of those. I remember like the first memorable thing that happened to me in comedy was I went to this Comedy Store open mic, which used to be a Sunday 6 p.m. sign up, and they would post at 7 who made it. Now keep in mind, I'm not like saying this arrogantly, but I'd been on Live at Gotham, which was a television credit.
When did you move out here, by the way?
2007, 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd already done Live at Gotham?
I've done Live at Gotham, and I had done the U.S. Aspen Comedy Fest. So I had a couple like legit...
Way more than the people you're signing up with these mics.
Most, I'm not saying I was funnier, but I had a couple things, and that's kind of what helps
as you learn, means
doesn't
nothing
mean
to some out here.
So I signed up. I didn't make it. I was like, well, that sucks. But I'm like, let's watch the show and see who makes it. So I'm in the back watching the show, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty brutal. And then this homeless man had signed up, and at least he appeared homeless to me, and they kept calling his name, and he wasn't there, but he was in the bathroom washing his feet and his body in the bathroom. So he signed up to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
And he made it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, this is harder than I thought. I thought I was like, I had a TV credit, sign up. No, the homeless guy who signed up got it. And he's like, it was probably Boom Shakalaka. Now that I look back,
I was going to say
it probably
they
was.
had a couple. I don't know if they still survive around there. There was another guy that had like a beard and he had like severe OCD and he kind of wandered around, gray-haired, bearded fella, long hair. But there was a couple.
There was a guy that had half a face.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah, and I talk about him sometimes on stage. He truly, it was half a face. Someone told me that he tried to kill himself with a handgun and he went under the chin and didn't execute.
Doesn't work.
Which is why you got to put it in your mouth. Make sure. But
I do love that joke.
But don't ever put a gun in your mouth.
Right, legally.
Yeah.
Don't ever do this either. This is putting the gun sideways to your eyes. A lot of people just blow their eyes off.
Okay.
You're still alive.
But don't even try it.
No, don't try
to see if you get it right.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, you didn't.
What are you selling ads on this thing?
Blow their eyes off.
But you didn't have. So you did not have representation. That was the one thing that and again, back then, just so you know, I mean, obviously, coming from the Comedy Store, they didn't accept that. You couldn't have a rep calling anyways and going to get you stage time there anyway. So,
I would have just as much luck calling myself and saying I'm Joshua Goldstein,
which meant nothing.
Yeah. There was a lawyer. There was a lawyer that took a liking to me at the Aspen Fest, and to his help, Greg Gelman, he made calls and set me up with some managers.
Okay.
And I ended up eventually signing with some people. So I probably should have gone through the Comedy Store in a different path than the signing up for the open mic, because I knew enough comics. And in my class in Aspen, it was like Kurt Fox, T.J. Miller, Eric Andre. Those were my friends.
Yeah.
I could have asked any of them.
Yeah.
But you kind of show up and wanted to do it on your own a little bit. So.
Well, which I think says a lot about you. You weren't looking for handouts or favors. You were like, I just want people to see me on stage and realize how funny I am.
I'm looking for him now.
Well, right.
Yeah. Right.
Who was the first person that you did not know when you came out here that you actually still community? Like when you got out here, the first person you're like, all right, I kind of like this person. I don't know.
Peter Berman was the first comic that helped me. I don't know if you guys know Peter Berman. He's fantastic, and I haven't seen him in 8 years, but he was the only guy that was like, call me when you get out there and I'll try to help you. And he's like, I got this for you. I got this for you. And they were no fucking home runs, but it was work, and it was a nice guy reaching out, and it was someone to sit in a car with for 2 hours and just be like, am I a crazy person? And he would go, no, you're not. This was how it is for me too. So he was great. And then tennis always rears its head, like tennis, because it's just as something that isn't comedy. And a couple tennis friends reached out, and all of a sudden I had a community of people that wasn't comedy while I was figuring out comedy. That really helped.
The living part.
Yeah.
Like
correct.
actually
Yes.
just
Like
going
having
out
a life.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. To socialize with
Hey,
people.
do you want to have drinks tomorrow? Like, oh my God, I would love to have drinks.
Right, because with comics, it's just like, I'll just see you at the next gig, and that your socializing is all gigs and
gigs.
nothing else, or talking about gigs while you're grabbing a cup of coffee. Like that's
or I got to go. I got another spot. Whatever.
Yeah.
Which is why I like this. The breakfast that we do. It's like not always a gig, even though we end up sitting around talking about fucking.
Well,
gigs.
to some extent, but just so
Not
people
always.
understand, you decided to kind of create like a little gathering, a circuit, if you will, where people can just come and socialize, because a lot of comics don't get out of the house.
We don't get out of the house.
They don't know what to do. They don't,
or we only socialize if we're drunk, which mea culpa.
Yeah.
But it's just a way to hopefully get out of the house and connect with humans, and just
I
feel
appreciate
depressing.
it, man, because
it's fun.
it is something that I do need to get out. You know what I mean? It's like it's not easy, man. I'm not a social person anymore. I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm in a very weird place with comedy too. I've done a show every night for the last week, and they've all been awful,
garbage.
When I was on radio, I didn't wait. What?
I got a spot last night. I got there. I was like,
Is it gonna suck?
I'm supposed to be here, and they were like, okay. Well, you can go on last and do 3 minutes. I was like, okay, and I just went home.
Yeah.
I just turned around and left.
Well, that's bullshit.
Well, it was just weird. Like, it's just
3 minutes.
I was like,
you're beyond all that shit.
But it goes back to what you were talking about you believe that you're accruing points, kind of like tennis, and you're not.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you find out you've accrued absolutely nothing.
0 points.
Or someone will be like, hey, come to this show, and you get there, and I think I've joked about this on the show one time where I drove all the way down to San Diego, like 2.5 hours from here to do a gig, and it was me, my buddy that came with me, and Tig Notaro.
Yeah.
There was nobody in the bar.
Yeah.
Except for the guy that booked it, and he gave me the, normally.
Yeah, last week.
I'm always that guy. Oh, man, last week, dude, it was packed in here. Like,
Yeah.
I guess I'll go on to these 6 people with their back turned.
Those things, that's part of
I know,
this.
but see, I feel like I've paid those dues. Like, I used to go up anywhere and everywhere I could as many times a week as I possibly could, and then it stopped being helpful. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to grow as an artist. I'm trying to be a better comedian. Me rambling through stories or jokes I've told 1,000 times to fucking people who aren't interested doesn't feel like it's helping me.
Some of it is you got to pay your dues, and some of it is we got to be smarter.
Yeah,
and
it's on me. I mean,
and whoever that person was, like, you're not going to do that club again or whatever that show. That person's off the list. We all made the mistake of driving 3 hours for some jackass.
Yeah, you always do.
And then it's like, okay, don't be the idiot that keeps doing that.
Yep, I stopped immediately.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, it's
so how did you build your career?
But then I get fucking upset if I don't have any gigs lined up, and then I'm like, well, Jesus, am I even a comedian?
Yeah, you are a comedian.
But that's I'm just gonna have to be smarter and only really do things that I think are gonna allow me to. Like, if I'm not enjoying myself, how the fuck is the audience going to enjoy it? Like, there's just no way. It's just disturbing.
I mean, LA's hard because nothing will happen for a year or a year and a half or 2 years, and then in one day, 3 things will happen.
And that'll keep you hanging on for the next 6 years.
Yeah. So it's like, it probably would be more beneficial, instead of driving to San Diego or whatever, to go to the Comedy Store for an hour. Maybe you can put up with the bullshit networking thing if you just give yourself an hour.
Yeah.
Like, I always feel like, well, I really don't want to go to the Improv and just stand there and talk. Okay, well, then go for 20 minutes, you fucking idiot. You can do 20 minutes.
You can always pretend you have to be somewhere else.
And you always end up driving home after doing that and being like, I saw that guy I like.
Yeah. That is the
thing. Always,
Every single time I make the effort and go out for like 20 minutes, an hour, just like you said, like. And for the store, for me, it's the traffic and the parking. That's annoying.
Parking is the biggest reason to not do it.
Right. But then, like, the Improv, it's a little easier to park. But you're right. Just go 20 minutes. Because every time I'm like, oh, man, I talked to TJ. I hadn't seen him in a while. I talked to so-and-so. I hadn't seen him in a while.
And you also go, and I still hate that guy.
Yeah, and I never need to see that dude again.
But exactly.
Again.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no,
I'm saying this as much to me as I am to... I mean, and so...
But you eventually, so you kind of do the. Where was the? I don't know, not the breaking point. Where did everything kind of turn over? Where you became the headliner? You got your name on the wall at the Comedy Store.
Name on the wall at the Comedy Store.
I mean, there are high points here.
Yeah,
obviously out here.
I mean, I would say that I use the road as my stage time because I quickly found out that here it was like. Unless you're one of 5% of the comics here that gets consistent stage time, it was too hard. So I sacrificed time in L.A., and I would go on the road. And I missed some things. I missed some opportunities that were here in L.A., and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to... And so then when I had opportunities to showcase for Comedy Central and The Tonight Show, I felt like I had really polished, good material. So probably the most obvious breaking point was Hermosa Beach passed me. So
Comedy and
Magic Club. So I performed there a lot. They give you these great tapes. It's a difficult stage to get on. So I have these great sets I could send out. They liked me. They invited, at the time, Jay Leno's booker down. He liked me, and then I got on The Tonight Show, and I had a good set. That's what really moved things forward. Yeah. Then Tommy at the Comedy Store, Mitzi saw your set. She loved it. And then I got passed. And again, that was all in like a month. I've been here for 3 years. It was like, so that helped a lot. And also, though, for me, it was very important to tape. Get good tapes. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know, you don't call them tapes, but it's still important. Yeah. Get a good fucking tape. Send it out. Like it for me, it worked. And I think, to me, audio is more important than video. I think if it needs to sound really good. Yeah. I think.
I agree.
So,
and what ultimately, now that you've been out here about 8 years or whatever, what's the next step for you? Like, what's the goal? What's the end game?
I mean, I'd love to host a television show.
You've gotten.
I've done some.
Yeah. What I mean, besides you had the comment section, but you did something before that.
I was on a show. I was on Fox Sports 1's show called Crowd Goes Wild.
That's right. That's when you moved to New York
with Regis Philbin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sweet.
It was sweet.
It was super fun. It was a lot of people. It was 6 people on the panel, but it was a lot of fun. Regis was the host. We had amazing guests, like Dr. J, Mike Tyson, John McEnroe.
Oh,
it was just like great guests. I mean, we had the Fox name.
Yeah,
we did 176 live television shows. I don't think anybody saw one of them.
I watched a few of them because
thank you, John.
I always thought you were funny even before I really knew you, and then when I saw you at that show, I was like, oh. Yeah, I guess I heard he played tennis, so I was like, yeah, he's an athlete, so he knows what he's doing, and then it was funny, man. I enjoyed it, and then I saw you in New York, and I was like, hey, congratulations on that, and you're like, it's canceled, and I was like,
it's not your fault. I mean, yeah.
Stylistically, with your comedy, do you ever feel like when you're doing shows and you're meeting other comics that they're like, is this guy going to be an asshole to me? Because you're not. You're like one of the nicest,
Thank you.
I can't remember the first time I think I met you. It may have been at Barney's Beanery or something like that. But I wasn't quite sure about you. But then you start talking, you're like, oh my god, this guy's fucking as normal and nice as you get.
You're a balanced, normal person, so you're open to like, oh, let's talk to him for a sec. I'd make your own decision.
Right.
But some of these like super self-conscious, bitter, angry comics like just have decided based off of a tweet or what they all do, or that I
this
shave,
handsome motherfucker.
or that I shave and like to work out, that I'm going to be a cock to them. And it's like, you can't win. I'm not trying to win anybody over, but you just, I'm a nice dude. And,
humble.
I think I'm a nice guy.
You notice that some people based on stylistically they
And I appreciate comedy based on arrogance. There's nothing more arrogant to me. There's nothing funnier than arrogance because we're going to die anyways.
Yeah.
Like to think that you're better than something is the point of funny because we're all dead.
Yeah.
We're all going to die. So to me, that's what's funny. And I can't play. Self-deprecation is great. But it doesn't always work. A lot of it's based on image and how you look at it.
Well, I was going to say, if you go up there and you're like, I can't get laid, I'm so horrible, look, everyone will be like, what the fuck?
I mean, Neil Brennan used to do this joke about how, like, the economy's so bad, or the banks are going to lose your money. He's like, what, lose all my $62? And everyone would laugh. And I was like, fuck you. I know you don't have $62.
I've seen the Chappelle show.
I don't think he does it anymore, but I'm like,
he probably doesn't.
I've said it to him. I'm like, stop doing that joke. It's not. It doesn't work for me.
And that's like as you get, as people come up and they get more, they're like more notoriety, more money. Those jokes about your appearance and how shitty your life is, they don't work. So you better
gets tougher.
You better work on making your precious life, the fun life, funny. Like.
I remember Seinfeld had that joke about like sitting in coach when they closed the curtain on First Class, and it was so funny. And it's like, well, he probably flies fucking private now.
Oh yeah, now he has his own.
You can't do jokes about private.
Jet.
No.
Yeah,
you can't do jokes.
Did you hate when you're on a private jet and they're out of Belvedere?
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
Right. So when you try to move to the next part of your career, do you find it because you've obviously you've got the stand up?
Sure,
but you want something else now too. There's another carrot. Does it get? Yeah. How do you balance that and not get too frustrated? Because as you know, in this business, you're going up to another level.
Sure,
where every opportunity is less and less. You thought it was hard getting stage time. It's even harder to get face time with people, right?
I mean, I don't know the answer to that at all.
I mean, but for you, how do you deal with it?
Poorly.
But you can't. But you pull back on your history and go, I'm not giving up because I obviously.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't think I'll ever give up comedy. It's a matter of, do I do comedy living in a house in Michigan that has a yard and or do I stick with it here? And I don't know. I honestly don't know, and I'm not trying to sound pessimistic, but it's such an interesting time in television because what is television? Is it internet? Is it I watch mostly the internet on TV, Netflix, HBO. Even though that's traditional TV, it's through the internet. And now there's all these like apps coming out, and so I've always wanted to host a show. I would be very happy with a long-term, funny hosting job. But guess what? Probably a lot of people would be. So that's what I'm trying to do.
No, but you also have that kind of personality that's like right to host a show. Like, and I'm not saying you're Jimmy Fallon or anything like that, but the like that affable, like, all right, you're not like I don't know, it'd be probably a little bit much if I hosted like the Tonight Show and people are like, all right, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They'd get a little sick of it, where it's like a guy like you come out and be friendly and make fun of some people and have some fun, and people still think you're a genuinely normal person.
Thank you. My dad owned a travel agency, and he used to take tours of people to these trips. Like, we'd go to Wimbledon, and my dad would bring all the kids, and he would go to like the Westminster Dog Show and the Philadelphia Flower Show. And I would sit in the back of the motor coach, and my dad, with all these people that bought tickets to my dad's event, my dad would grab that stupid motor coach microphone, and he always had these terrible jokes about Philadelphia's fountain, and these people would laugh. And I remember being like 10 and being like, that looks like fun to me. Like, I want you basically just want to be your fucking dad.
Yeah.
I want to sleep with my mom, and I want to be my dad. That's all we're trying to do.
No, but I mean, I saw my dad tell like he was a storyteller. When he told stories, people listened and they like hung out. And even then, when there were stories that me and my brother had heard over and over and over again, they were animated. There was little act outs. There was
so I got a little bit of a better punchline every time.
Yeah, and then the specific names always stuck with me. Like the guys he would be, Donnie Slupski on the corner wiping his nose on his jacket, like. Just the weird names that he would bring up and always like include.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see that and you see other people being drawn to that and the attention it gets, and you're like, oh, okay.
That'd be cool.
And also my dad made fun of himself a lot. He was the butt of most jokes, and him and his buddy would go back and forth, and that was very Midwest, but I saw that, and that's pretty much what my humor is. It's very comedy. It's very self-deprecating.
Yeah. It's funny.
So for you moving forward, I mean, obviously, for now you get to host Noah's Bagels, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it's really.
Don't say the location, dude. TMZ showed up yesterday. What the fuck was that, dude? We should talk about that off air. But what was that?
I don't know, but I think I'm going to be on TMZ Sports.
Okay, that's good.
Sports.
That's good.
His hat pays off. Eventually,
That's good.
Yeah.
No, but so I mean, do you see yourself out here as a very social person, or do you see is that what drove you to do to get people together?
No, I was feeling like I wasn't doing a good job with that.
Okay,
I wasn't. I'm happiest when I connect with people. I think most people are that way, and I was like, we need to do something. And I would always try to do things at night, like I'd get the fight. Hey, comics, come over, and it would be like. Oh, dude, or I got a show, or it was just tougher, and I was like, it's tough to come up with a reason you can't get a fucking bagel at 11 a.m. I mean, unless you're really on set, and some people are great.
No, look, but that's the idea. If you're working, more power to you.
Good.
If you're on the road,
you
or
get
if you
free
got
bagels.
a TV show, or you're doing a commercial or something, that's great. Yeah, you get free bagels.
Free bagels.
Enjoy your free bagels and your paycheck.
Yeah.
But like, it's nice that if you don't have anything going on, you can still like. And for me, I'm not going to lie, it helps that I can walk there.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, if it was in Culver City, you'd still come every once in a while.
Every once in a while, I would.
Yeah.
I would probably drive Nicole to work and then stop by or whatever. But
I just, getting a little bit older, realized like the most fun is hanging out with people, and the best networking is always when you're not networking.
Yes.
Like, you always know that guy you play golf with that's like second hole, like, so what do you do? I got a guy for you. And you're like, this is not how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
We're going to fucking play golf, and then eventually, 3 years from now, maybe we'll be friends. So
take it slow.
And by the way, the bagels thing has already paid off. I've done Joe Kilgallen's podcast and your podcast.
Oh,
I just can't see it getting better than this.
Well, it won't. Unfortunately, this is the highlight for you.
Well, that's good. I mean, it sounds like at least you're staying level-headed and you're very hyper aware of your surroundings.
Sure.
Do you still try to do what's your ratio of like in town, out of town? Like, how much do you?
I should say the thing I'm most thankful for is I've had agents throughout the years that have booked me, and so I get 2 weekends a month that I can go on the road and sharpen my skills. And, John Huck's looking at me right now like he wants to slice me with a knife because I've been there too, where you are a funny person that should be on the road and you try to book yourself and it's fucking hard.
Yep.
It's really fucking hard. So I'm very thankful that, and probably my TV stuff is really the reason why they keep booking me on the road because
that
helps
helps.
You
a
still
lot.
got to be
For
funny
sure.
and hold your own. Though.
I think to come back, you can get that first. Oh, he was on TV, and then it's like, yeah, but who the fuck cares because he sucked?
Yeah,
then
you got to be funny.
Yeah.
You got to be funny. So for me, the road has always been something that allows me to have some money, pay my rent. So I do about 2 weekends a month. They're all posted on michaelkosta.com, and they're not all glamorous, but and. It's easy to drink too much on the road. Easy.
So easy.
It's a trap, dude.
And it's not even for me. It's like it just happens in the hotel room when I'm by myself.
It happens anywhere you want it to happen. You're at a fucking your own fraternity for the weekend.
Yeah.
But you got to be smart about it.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Anything else you want to pimp, or are you a straight up, or just go to your website and you can find everything from there?
I have a podcast called The Worst Birthday Podcast, which John Huck has been on.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic story.
Yeah. A friend of mine from college hit me up on Facebook, private messaged me, and was like, hey, got picked up by a friend today. This was like a week ago. She was like, I got picked up by a friend today. I jumped in his car. Your voice was coming through the speakers, and I was like, are you listening to John Huck? And he goes, yeah, this is a podcast I listen to called the Worst Birthday Podcast, or Worst Birthday Ever Podcast.
Yeah, worst birthday. You just tell me your worst birthday, and John's is great. I forget what episode it is, but it's really funny to listen to. Also, maybe not a lot of people know this about John, but the day he was born, his grandfather passed away.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
Can I tell you something?
Imagine that, being his dad. That's you gain a son, lose your father the same day. That's fascinating.
Awkward day. Can I tell you guys something pretty morbid? So the day I was born, my grandfather died, and the day my brother was born, my dad's best friend, our neighbor, his father died.
Weird.
Okay. The day my parents were married, my mom's father passed away.
No shit.
Yeah. So like. Tragedy comes after big celebrations in our family, like real quick. Like, so my brother and his wife went in last Saturday, the 30th, to start inducing labor for their baby. And I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, okay,
who's next?
Yeah, like my mom is in way too good a shape. She's got a social life. She's out there partying all the time. Like she's top. She's at the top of her game right now.
Yep.
And I'm like, that leaves me.
Exactly.
So I literally went to this website that helps you put out tweets, like timed tweets, and I set 2 tweets to go out at 12 and 12:15 on the 31st in case I died in my sleep that night. The day
it would go out.
Yeah,
I thought you went to a website where you could talk about your feelings instead of like preparing for your
tweet,
death.
No, I literally like.
What was it? Social crowd torch, or
it was like Twitter ND.
So what was the tweet then? If you died,
one of them was just like
a picture of Tupac.
Yeah, that's it. It was just a peace sign.
Hashtag. Yeah, whatever.
It was just a picture of my dick.
Oh, good.
So check out worstbirthday.com. You can listen to John Huck. It's really good.
Yeah, and it's a funny idea for a podcast too.
Thank you.
Go see Michael Kosta whenever you can live. He's very funny. You won't be disappointed. K-Pook gets out next week, and I'm an unk.
All right.
That's cool, man. Congratulations.
Full circle.
Recap. Call back.
Thank you for listening to Hollywood Anonymous. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Hollywood Anani. That is short for Hollywood Anonymous. You can also follow John individually at John Huck and myself, Bryan Erwin, at Bryan Erwin on Twitter as well. Both of us can be found on Facebook. You can also Google us and contact us directly, HollywoodAnonymousGuys@gmail.com. Thank you again so much for listening, and please don't forget to subscribe